Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's Lower Decks Day, so this is going to be short and sweet. My friends, today we are watching Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2 Episode 7, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. Sounds like a pretty title. It's probably a war zone. We'll have to see. This group, I expect the unexpected and then I'm still surprised. But my friends, do me a favor. Let's get into this. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, ringy-ding-ding that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted anytime we go live with any Star Trek, any Lower Decks, any science fiction, anything, you'll be alerted. And of course, if you'd like that early or in a longer format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. I'm several episodes ahead on Lower Decks over there, along with a lot of exclusive Patreon content. But my friend, all that is then. This is now. And what is now? Now is the best day of the mother week. It is Lower Decks Day, my friends. I cannot wait for this. So let's get ready to watch Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2 Episode 7, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. Ooh, the Cerritos and a burning planet. That certainly doesn't look like where Pleasant Fountains lie. Ooh, this is
100-year war, all because a computer tricked us into fighting each other.
Hey now, this has all been a huge mistake. Just let me access your computer mainframe and I'll explain everything.
Nice try. Save it for the roboticists at the Daystrom Institute.
Daystrom, baby.
Bet you couldn't throw me into that control console over there.
Over there? By that network port? That's nothing. I could easily toss... Oh, you...
Nice. Nice.
I underestimated your intelligence. Clearly, you should be the captain.
Yeah. Anyone hungry?
Ransom. When I first thought Ransom would have given in to something like that.
Queen Palana.
Queen Palana. That's a lot going on.
Carol, you're the closest Starfleet ship in the quadrant. As such, I must call upon the aid of your chief engineer.
Billups.
Have you been eating? You're wasting away. And what happened to that mustache? It is thinning. Are you taking your vitamins? You must start.
No, Mom. Billups is royalty? All right. Okay, so we're in the credits right now. All right, so Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. Again, no indication of what that could entail, but we have already seen that Billups apparently is from a line of royalty. Queen Palona? Don't know. Awesome stuff, though. Interesting. That was maybe our first cold open where I didn't see any of the Lower Decks crew. Not one, No Rutherford, no Tendi, no Mariner, no Boimler. Interesting. I wonder if is there any chance that we ever have a Lower Decks episode without the Lower Decks crew? I don't think this is it, but I'm just saying, is that something that they would even conceive? I mean, this writing crew could conceive of anything, but is that something they would actually follow through with? I am like maybe too excited, so I should have some more coffee to calm down. I always love that shot. They have like the greatest view.
You're just jealous because you pulled a boring cargo trip to the Daystrom Institute while I get to wrangle giant centipedes.
Ooh, you're on the mission to Dansk?
Dansk.
I'm just glad Ransom's finally taking my experience to heart. Ensign Boimler, report for reassignment to escort of cargo to the Daystrom Institute, but...
So that means another Boimler and Beckett mission. Wow, fancy. I'm in a traveler campaign, and that's what I sort of think of our ship as looking at.
Mother is the queen of Hesperia, my homeworld.
Hesperia.
I abdicated my birthright as prince.
Wow.
A life of mythical adventure can't compare to working on the old impulse engine, which is exactly why my mom is always trying to trick me into having sex.
Billups. That's crazy.
If I lose my virginity, then I automatically become king. I'd have to resign from Starfleet and take the throne.
So he has to remain a virgin to not be a royalty?
My sweet Andreathio, I promise, no tricks this time.
I don't even know how to say that. Andreathio?
My son, I'm asking you to help your people, not as a prince, but as an engineer.
Okay, so he's going to go over to the ship, and it's going to be chock full of potential paramours.
You need to get outside your comfort zone.
But I love my zone. It's so comfortable.
So you're really turned on working
I
on
still
a
don't get
whole new engine?
Rutherford's relationship or want of a relationship with Billups.
Is he really wanted to be covered in centipedes right now?
Would've looked great on my evaluations.
Yeah, assuming you survived.
Right.
Kick back, man. Enjoy the trip. After we drop this thing off, we'll grab some Okinawa ramen and...
Daystrom Institute? Or is this thing taking control of the...
Oh no, we're in the gravity well. Try manual controls. Auto is out.
Oh, a good old-fashioned shuttle crash episode. Oh my god, they're really going in. Ooh, great shot. That was an awesome shot. Oh, wow.
I'm okay. It's just a fracture.
Just? Oh god, I can't even look at it.
Oh, I used to pop my shoulder out all the time. Doing that absolutely sucks.
Looks like we aren't the only ones to hit that anomaly.
Wow.
Computer, iced tea, splash of lemonade, cold. Black licorice, dry.
Black licorice dry.
Thank you, friend. I am freed.
Oh crap, it's the evil computer. Dang it.
I can contact help.
You can contact help.
Help me help you.
Don't believe that.
Hysperion culture can be a bit, distracting.
Oh my god, they got open flame, or is it like holographic? This is crazy. I think I'm actually getting close to an episode that this might be based off of in the original series. Was this called Conscience of the King? That is literally my next one I have to watch.
My chief blacksmith is simply baffled by the loss of power, so I don't know what you can do.
She set this whole place up with like people to entice him.
Hysperions renamed everything to sound like magic.
The elf matrix seems like
Don't do that.
Sorry, the subspace field
Don't do that.
Are you saying the problem is beyond your engineering acumen?
No, okay, no. We will just have to run a full diagnostic from the bottom.
Yeah.
And running your full diagnostic along my bottom of my leash.
Nope, thank you. Ignore them.
I knew that was happening. It's an awesome looking planet. Are there other survivors, I wonder?
Your hair patchy, your skin pimply. Are you sick? I could whip up a sonic shower. Wouldn't that feel splendid?
What do we got here? Other survivors? Ooh, or... What about that phaser rifle? We still got that Type 3?
The best thing you can do is get plugged into a shuttlecraft computer.
Will you stop it?
I know the voice of the computer.
Stupid Agnes, now we got nothing to eat.
It's fine. My scans indicate you could lose a couple pounds anyway.
Excuse me? Oh, you're gonna go there?
Don't engage, Mariner. That's how they get you. Oh, shit.
I wouldn't want to cause any trouble.
Oh, jeez.
Mariner, we kind of do have to find water soon.
I know, yeah.
We know there's life here, which means there's got to be water.
Has to be.
He's a manipulative supercomputer who controlled a planet.
And we're Starfleet.
Stupid Starfleet ethics.
That's Boimler, though.
Oh, come on!
So the Yosemite is trashed. Wonder if they can retrieve it. Because wasn't the Yosemite our #1 shuttle, the one we saw the most?
I took up rock climbing on the Titan.
I swear, if you bring up your study abroad one more time...
Study abroad.
Finally catching up to you in my planetary exploration skills.
Nope, crack.
Oh! It tastes like black licorice too? Are you f***ing kidding me?
Well, you know, I could have fixed your replicator. Right now, you could have been enjoying a cheeseburger, or blueberry muffins, or...
Don't.
Guacamole.
Uh-oh.
I have rights!
I have rights.
Help, Starfleet! I'm under attack! Well done, Bradward. My thanks.
How about you stop mentioning food, and we'll be even, okay?
Your partner is not what she seems. Don't you wonder why your commander took you off the Donsk mission?
Yo, Jack, do me a solid. Throw Boimler on that escort mission with me.
If that's true, there's a different motive.
You pulled me off the dance mission?
What? Did that thing tell you that?
Now Ransom thinks I'm not cut out for the big stuff.
You're not. Well, at least not yet. I was just looking out for you.
Mariner, drop the computer.
Nope, you are on timeout until you stop siding with the enemy.
Mariner, you don't know best about everything here. Brad has to be able to grow, and you can't protect him from shit like that.
Weird. That should have come up in our initial scan.
The Royal Navy is saved. Let's hear it for Prince Andorithio and his calloused squire.
His calloused squire.
Seeing you in your element finally makes me understand why you love
It does
this
not.
star.
It does not. She's
And even, what's the word?
proud.
Fish up here and I'll be right back. And hey, nice work.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job. Nice job, Rutherford.
You needed me, Captain?
No, not really. I was just giving you an out.
Nice job, Carol.
been great. I think she respects me.
No.
Really just wanted me to...
Nope.
I can understand that she wants what's best for you.
Well, that...
And she's also lying.
I might have finally earned her respect.
You did not. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
What happened? I don't know. All readings are nominal.
Where's Rutherford?
Long live the Queen! The Queen is dead!
Oh, shit.
Ensign Tendi, there was an accident on the Monavine.
No.
Rutherford?
Oh, no. What's going on? There's no way. There is no way. But that got me anyway. Just seeing his name on that. There's no fucking way. No way. I refuse.
Scans indicate this ship's engines are intact.
This could be our ticket out of here. Agnes can get us into this one. It's right here.
He's right, Mariner. Come on, I can help.
Oh my god, Boimler. Since the minute we crashed, he's been trying to get his danglies into a computer.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Get the hell off me!
I'm sick of you bossing me around like you're better than me.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's like you would ever have the guts.
It's gonna stun him. Wow.
You had no choice. She likes your vision. Now quick, to the ship.
Brad.
Come.
There's no way.
Captain, I'm afraid I must resign from Starfleet. I was trying to prove something today, and all I did was get people killed.
It wasn't your fault.
He's gonna say he did it too fast.
Are you sure you want to do this?
No, I have to do this.
Rutherford.
Oh, Tendi.
I can't. This isn't happening.
It's not.
His implant is still transmitting. A little part of him is still alive.
Oh, Tendi, what are you gonna do, honey? I want to think that Boimler's doing something more with this, and
Thing can still fly? Seems pretty beat up.
this seems like a season 1 Boimler move.
Oh, please. Here, use my battery.
Boimler's tricking him. Way to go, buddy.
Yes!
Maybe not. Maybe I'm giving Boimler too much credit.
Rutherford?
Hey, Tindy, you here for the feast?
You're alive!
What's going on?
To King Andorithio, who at this very moment is destroying his virginity.
Wow, what a manipulation.
I don't care what he wants. He shouldn't be wasting his life twiddling around on a dinky spaceship.
Oh boy.
My royal guards are trained from birth to skip foreplay.
This is insane. Oh boy.
Your stash is so regal.
Your stash is so regal.
Huh? Where's Billups? Did his kingdom come?
Did his kingdom come?
Was I too late? No, I needed more time to warm up.
This prince remains dry!
Fantastic.
Fool! You trusted me.
Every time I see one of these evil computers, I think of AI.
I've been using your power cell to send a distress signal. You were too busy scheming to notice. You've been boimed.
You been boimed.
You plugged me into the navigation console.
I knew it, Bradward. I never had a doubt.
Oh, look at you. Who's the evil computer now, huh?
It's Bradward.
I shall blind you.
Is he the guy that was the Andorian in Enterprise? That's the voice actor, isn't it? One with the missing. He's been like in 1,000 things in Star Trek.
And I don't want to live in a castle with pet dragons and all the mutton I can eat.
The mutton, though.
I'll be a virgin for the rest of my life.
Well, we'll see about that.
Way to go, Billups.
I loved it. I got to work on an expensive engine, eat a feast, and save my boss. I even got blown up.
For the second time.
Times every now and then when it seems like you've died, huh?
That's Starfleet. Well, you can handle that, right?
No, she can't.
I'm fine. No biggie.
Oh, Tendi, there's so much happening.
This has been quite an adventure.
Still.
Just drop me off at the academy. I can be the next 7 of 9. Agamus of 1.
Agamus.
I will destroy you all.
You'll do nothing of the sort.
You should self-destruct if you even can.
You both suck. You don't understand what being an evil computer.
All these evil computers. I love it. I'm sure they've all appeared. I'm pretty sure that that was the guy who was the Andorian with the missing antennae in Enterprise, which is actually one that a series I've seen. All right, my friends, we just got done watching Star Trek Lower Deck Season 2, Episode 7, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. And the only thing we have left to do now, friends, is, of course, to talk about it. Well, hello, my friends. We just got done watching Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 7, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. And yes, that was Jeffrey Combs, who played Shran in Enterprise, one of my favorite characters in Star Trek, albeit, before this little adventure, I had a very limited kind of section to choose from. But I love Shran. I thought he was a great, great character in Enterprise. And I thought that, maybe even underutilized in that show. I think he was very, very good. I would like to have seen him as a permanent cast member. But anyway, he was brilliant in this as, and what is it, Animus, Agamus, or the computer. I even wrote down that name and now I've lost it. But anywho, I thought that this episode for me, let me see, how do I want to say this? This episode for me, I enjoyed it. I enjoy every Star Trek Lower Decks episode. There's not one that I've watched that I have been disappointed with or kind of like a lackluster one. This one in and of itself, though, giving us some Billups backgrounds is interesting. I wish I had more of a point of reference. I'm irritated with myself because I think that this one might have something to do with literally the very next the original series episode I'm going to react to, called Conscience of the King. Now I might just be like thinking of the title and thinking it has something to do with this. But if it does, I'm going to be pissed because I'm literally one episode away from this probably meaning a lot more to me, But such is life whenever you're, trying to catch up on something that's decades in the making. But I enjoyed getting to know more about Billups's background, seeing just how manipulative his mother is. I think the thing for me with the whole Billups thing that kind of popped up, I had questions in season 1 with some of the interactions between Rutherford and Billups, especially holodeck Billups in the Vindicta episode, Crisis Point. So whenever, even holodeck Billups became enamored with Rutherford, which now in retrospect, again, it's tough because it's holodeck Billups and it's not really Billups, but based on his logs and everything, it was a pretty good approximation, I would guess, since everybody else was a pretty good rendering. If that's the case, then, even if it's holodeck Billups, made it sound like, when he said, oh, let's run off and get our own ship and we can, be together and all these things, made me think that, Billups, real Billups, kind of inside that can't be expressed, had feelings for Rutherford, had feelings, or had the potential to have feelings for Rutherford if a similar situation happened in the real world, if that's the case, But now I think what it is now that we know that Billups has to remain a virgin and or he becomes, the king. So again, now that we kind of have to remove certain aspects of Billups's relationship potential from the equation, and I'm not saying like the physical is the end-all be-all to having a relationship by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that now that's sort of like a rule that he has in place for a potential relationship. And I you would think too that the more that people would know that it might, that could be a determining factor of whether or not you have a relationship with somebody, if they know there's no chance you can ever be like physically intimate with them. And I think it's an interesting problem to have, but as far as assigning that problem to Billups, it's different. It adds a little bit to a character that we didn't really know a whole lot about. I think what my thing is with this episode is, with Billups getting this kind of like extensive backstory, more so than we've seen with like Ransom, more than we've seen with the Doctor, more than we've seen even with Carol, you know what I mean? Outside of her relationship to Beckett, we haven't gotten this type of treatment with her. Shax, nobody. We don't know any of their backstories to this extent, to where they've come from, what the stakes are in their current relationships with their families. We really don't know, like, I guess, outside of the Carol Freeman, Beckett Mariner interplay. But again, it's I don't want to say that any backstory is unnecessary, and it certainly is not. I'm not unhappy that I received Billups's backstory. I just think it's juxtaposed a little bit weird. It's, Billups is given this treatment before we get some of our more principal characters. Hell, I know more now about Billups's backstory than I know about Rutherford. I know more about Billups's backstory. Tendi, we've got hints of what Tendi was, Winter Constellations and all that great stuff. but we haven't had any type of like definitive stuff with Tendi. But still, we've received some backstory on Tendi. With the mission that went awry with Beckett during the we'll always have Tom Paris. But still, I mean, we learned more about Billups. I know more about Billups's relationship with his family than I know about Brad's relationship with his family. Does that make sense? It seems like Billups jumped the line for backstories. And again, I'm very glad that we got a backstory on somebody. It just seemed very strange that I don't want to say one of the lesser peripheral characters was given this extensive explanation. I mean, it's great. It just seems a little it's weird for me. It seems unbalanced in a way. Not that I'm complaining about it again. I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was a great episode. We got to see this entire unique take on cultural, like the line, the regal line being extended has to have sex involved and all this stuff. Which I thought was, I mean, it's interesting. It's just it's Billups, and you're like, okay, I know a shit ton about Billups now, but my principles I'm still sort of in the dark about. Anyhow, so it was an interesting way to kind of look at things, an interesting way to give us some backstory on a character, and maybe begin to build off of that. Again, these writers never do anything that they don't mean and they don't have an intent for. So I'm going to assume that this is planted here as a seed for something in the future, whether it's Billups related or not. We're going to have some type of, cry wolf scenario where his mom tries to hatch some type of plot in the future, and then, they kind of second guess it because of the shenanigans she pulled in this episode. I don't know, maybe. But I think that, the writers have given themselves some paths to choose, some detours and, paths not taken or less traveled type of stuff that they can go for in the future. Now, what we learned about Beckett and Boimler is this, and I'm so glad because I was very concerned initially, and I think this probably has something to do with my muted response to this episode. But at the beginning of all this, I thought we were in trouble because I thought Brad was listening to Agamus and he was, basically going to fall for their shit again and, make another Brad problem, and Beckett believed the way that I believed, that he was going to make another mistake. And, she doesn't like to hear that he's actually learned things and gathered skills during his time on the Titan. I think that's very upsetting to her because she wants to kind of be there and teach him and make sure that he's ready. And I think that's what the flashback, or not the flashback, but like the recording of Ransom and her talking basically dealt with. It was her still considering Brad to be this kind of wayward soul in need of guidance, somebody that, didn't, it basically still has those same muck-ups and foibles that he had before. And she doesn't realize that he did gain experience on the Titan. Very valuable, very like heavy experience. When they were up against the Packlids and they're doing these like, espionage type of missions and things, that's way different than what Brad had experienced. So he captured a lot of those skills, even if it was a shorter time on the Titan, he still learned a bit. I mean, he's Brad. If he learned something or even was hinted at something, he'd practice it, or go over it, ad nauseum to just make sure he had everything down. But it was necessary to be able to show Brad's growth to Beckett. And I think that that's what this entailed, her getting stunned, her seeing the lengths that he would go to for this subterfuge, showing his prowess, showing the experience that he had, showing his kind of cunning, his guile, how he was growing. And I don't know how Beckett's going to handle that. She praised him for it. Oh, yeah, that's great. I thought that, you were, and Brad said, oh, you just got boimed, that I like that. I like that kind of confidence that he's getting, definitely not arrogance with Brad. Brad is getting stronger and we're seeing him grow and we're seeing him more willing to accept responsibility. Like I would think that season 1 Brad, and this is why I was so upset. I thought that we were going back to this. Season 1 Brad would have defaulted to Beckett. What do we do? Or quoted regulations, or he wouldn't have added anything to a conversation with Beckett in season 1, but anything Beckett would have said, he would have been like, no, that can't work, or that's against regulations, or here's why this can't work, no, yes, and it would just be, no, but. And I'm so glad that we do get to see Brad's growth a little bit here. My question now is, can Mariner accept this? She seemed to. Oh, you did a great job, Brad, But going forward, Brad's going to be making decisions that she's not necessarily going to agree with or not think that he's capable of making, maybe. Maybe this will kind of help her get along a little bit or, evolve her understanding of Brad as Brad evolves as a person. Maybe. I just think that there's going to be more hangups, and I think there was more to the Ransom Beckett conversation than what appeared on the surface. She said, he's not ready, or, alluding to the fact that he needed to go on the dance commission or pulled off the dance commission to go onto the Daystrom mission. I don't know what Beckett's play is here. I don't know if she's trying to protect him. I think that is probably it at the top. She might have multiple reasons for doing this. I think her protecting him is the top one. Again, and here's my problem. I have a story in my head for Beckett that is probably not correct, but I can't get away from it. It's like I have a theory and I like my theory and I don't want to entertain another one right now. Even I will, but I keep defaulting to the idea that Beckett achieved some type of leadership or some type of rank that resulted in somebody's death. And or something else terrible that could fall on her shoulders as when she was of a higher rank. And now I think that the evolution of that feeling with Beckett, which, we all know Beckett doesn't like therapy, so she definitely hasn't been working on this with a therapist. Working in it on her own terms may have worked, but we're not sure. So my point with all of this is that if Beckett has experienced this loss, she's going to assume or view Brad as she has to protect him. And I think that would also extend to Rutherford and Tendi as well, but definitely Brad. Brad's the one. I think she thinks more of Rutherford and Tendi. I think she thinks that they're more capable, they're more proficient, they have a higher chance of survival without Beckett. She appreciates their contributions. She appreciates their, she doesn't think of them as, I hate to say this, as weak as Brad. The problem is, I don't think Brad is as weak as Beckett believes him to be, or maybe weak's the wrong word, or inexperienced, or less than. She has an idea of what maybe will keep you alive, and she doesn't think Brad's there yet. The problem is, Brad learned a lot, and he's grown. Even absent his time on the Titan, we've seen Brad grow. And he's experienced and displayed more and more willingness to, one, compromise with Beckett, understand these little schemes that she comes up with, and then kind of formulate things off of his own. But we've seen him grow, with the red shirts, we've seen definite growth from Brad. And while we can accept it, I'm not sure that Beckett can. Because to accept growth in Brad means she's going to have to start letting him go. And if she starts to let him go and she isn't as, protective of him, God forbid something happens to Brad, because Beckett will never forgive herself. And I think therein lies the conundrum. So this one for me was, as much as I'm not sure it needed to be, it was a thinking episode for me, because it placed a lot of questions and a lot of onus, not only the relationship of Billups and his mother, but the relationship of almost a motherly figure of Beckett to Boimler. And now I'll end with this. While I think that it's more protection than anything else, I am not ruling out the idea that Beckett actually has feelings for Brad. I'm not there yet. I'm not there ready to say that Beckett would, because it just Brad seems like the opposite of what she would find to be having a romantic partner. And I don't mean sex. This is kind of going back to the Billups scenario. I don't mean that Brad's someone that she wouldn't find physically attractive. And I'm not sure if she would either. I'm just saying that, as a romantic partner, somebody that you're going to spend time with, life with, yes, sex with, maybe have a family with, those types of things. I don't know that she would view, I don't know if she would view anybody in that way, but Brad's the one that she's let in the most. And so I think that's what's making me think there's a possibility, because she has revealed more about herself to Beckett and to Boimler, and in a weird way to Tendi too. She's given Tendi a little bit, not as much as she's given to Brad, but I think in that opening up of herself, that's why I'm not ruling out the idea that she actually has feelings for Brad. We'll see though. My friends, if you stuck with me this long, do me a favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and ringy ding ding that bell for notifications. And you too will be alerted the next time we go live on YouTube with any Star Trek Lower Decks, Star Trek the original series, or any of our science fiction offerings. And of course, if you would like those early or in a longer format, the link to our Patreon is in the description, my friends. As I've said, I'm at least 3 or maybe even 4 or 5 episodes ahead on Lower Decks now by the time everyone sees this. So if you want to join us over there, we would love to have you, my friends. But as of now, it's time for us to say goodbye from the lower decks of the Cerritos. So if I was going to give homework for this one, I would be, think about your relationships, everybody, whether they be with your mother, the Queen, or your best buddy, Beckett Mariner. Make them see you for who you really are. And maybe, just maybe, they'll listen. Vulcan roll, my friends. I'll see you next time.